Hey everybody, Ben Franklin with Rejoin or Die. Ready to get into the presidential debate between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. So let's take a look. So I just want to first start off by saying that the whole reason that I'm doing Rejoin or Die is because I'm just so sick and tired of the media's blatant hypocrisy. And unfortunately, it was on full display during the presidential debate. You can argue if you are in agreement with Donald Trump's policies, that's great. If you're in agreement with Kamala Harris's policies, that's great. I want you to vote for the candidate that you feel best represents the things that you are passionate about and the things that you like. The fact-checking in the debate was an absolute disgrace. I don't care if you're right or left, you should be absolutely disgusted with the way the ABC News handled the debate. The moderators were completely biased, and it showed. I don't care who they vote for. They are more than welcome to vote for Kamala Harris if that's what they want. But I, as a viewer of the debate, should not have any idea that that's how they feel. But unfortunately, everybody that watched that debate knows exactly which candidate those two moderators want to win. And it makes me sick. So I want to get in today, take a look at the fact-checking Kamala Harris and Donald Trump's first presidential debate, put out by ABC News directly after the debate came out. And so we'll just start right off the top. They say it was a high-stakes 90-minute debate. Blah, blah, blah. Don't care. Let's just get into this first claim made by Kamala Harris. 16 Nobel laureates say Trump's plan would increase inflation and land us in a recession. Fact check. Mostly true. Really? Really? Okay, so 16 people that agree with you, Kamala Harris, say that his plan will land you in a recession. I just looked back, and there are so many articles written in 2016. I can give you one specific example from the New York Times that said that by 2017, if Donald Trump was put in office, that the country would be in a recession. So to label that as mostly true, what the heck are we even talking about? Okay? She found some people that agree with her. How is that mostly true? Disgusting. Here's his claim. Trump wants a 20% tax on everyday goods. That would cost families about $4,000 more a year. True, but needs context. Trump wants a 20% tax on everyday goods? That is not true. That is patently false. He never said it. He never would say it. He wants to put tariffs on. And again, he explained that whole thing in the debate, that he applied tariffs when he was in as president, and that the Biden administration continued to allow those tariffs to remain in place. A fact check true on a 20% tax on everyday goods. That is a lie. That is false. Trump claim. Trump said, "We have inflation like very few people have ever seen before, probably the worst in our nation's history." Fact check false. But it was very high. Really? So when he uses hyperbole, we're going to fact check that as false. When Kamala Harris uses hyperbole saying that he wants a 20% tax on everyday goods, that is true. Like, it's just disgusting. The amount of bias is absolutely disgusting. Goes on to talk about it. The inflation rate as of July 2024 is at 2.9%. Trump left it at 1.4%. They do mention that. But, I mean, year over year, we're talking about almost 20%, maybe more, year over the past 3 years. It's disgusting. Harris claim, Trump left us the worst unemployment since the Great Depression. Fact check. Don't say true, don't say false, just says needs context. Yeah, let's give it the context that because of COVID, everyone lost their job. There's your context. The whole world shut down for months and months, and people lost their jobs. That's the context that you need to know that she is exploiting that, and that most of those jobs were back before she came in office, and then all of the bounce back jobs came in shortly after they were in office, so then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris could claim that they have record job creation during their presidency. It's disgusting. Harris claim, Trump killed the bill that would have secured the border. They give it a fact check true. I hate this topic. Day one, Biden got into office and he undid all of Trump's policies. So I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear anything about what they think Trump said to people to get them to vote against the border bill. The reality is he doesn't need legislation to close the border. He can do it right now. Right now he can do it. So to say fact check true on he killed the bill, they don't need a bill to shut down the border. They don't want to close down the border. They want to increase funding and this and that for border agents. Great, great. I wish that you had done it. But the reality is that you talked for years and years about how terrible Trump was because he wanted a border wall. And now that we have a crisis at the border, you're going to just pretend that it's because one bill didn't pass that's created all the problem. No, you've been against it from day one. Sickening. Trump claim, Haitian migrants eating pets in Ohio. Fact check false. The thing that drives me nuts about this is that we are so far into the weeds with this. They say fact check false. Well, first of all, there is audio recording from a dispatcher from a resident of Springfield that complained that they had taken ducks and geese out of the pond, whatever, and were loading them up and taking them home. And then in a city council meeting, there was another man that said that things were getting out of control and that they needed, or that there had been pets that had been taken and whatnot. For some reason, we believe any Joe Schmo off the street when there's an accident on the side of the road, and we get firsthand eyewitness news and this and that, and we believe those people right off without any question. But these people that are calling the police saying, hey, there's some people loading up some geese while I'm going into work, you should take a look into it. For some reason, we don't believe them at all. And again, Trump is talking about cats and dogs being eaten and this and that. I don't care. We're missing the bigger picture. First of all, that how can you fact check that false when you just don't know? You ask the people that are running the city that over the last 3 years have seen a 20,000 migrant member increase coming into the city, 20,000 over 3 years. You're asking the people that are overseeing that and that have that on their hands whether or not these reports are true, and they say no. Oh no, we're doing the best job ever. I don't want to lose my job on the city council or as mayor or like whatever we're doing. Like, it's nonsense. You're asking people that are at the helm of this why these issues are there, and they're just like, oh, there's no issues. There's nothing to be seen here. You don't believe these people coming to city council. But again, any other issue, people are all over it and believe people right away when they see it. So I don't understand that. But again, the main issue is you have a town that has had a third of their population, an increase in their population by 1/3, and it's because there is no type of line that people are coming into. There's no order to the process of these people coming in at all. Disgusting. Makes me sick. Harris claim, Trump intends on implementing Project 2025. This should be the easiest fact check of all time, because he said it. In the debate, he said it. He said it from day one that he does not agree with Project 2025. Fact check needs context. No, it doesn't. Here's some context for you. Donald Trump says he doesn't support 2025, so much so that they fired the person that was leading that organization that set it up from the Heritage Foundation. There's no context that's needed. It's a fact check false. But ABC News, biased pieces of garbage, say that it needs more context, goes 4 paragraphs long on just absolute nonsense. It's disgusting. Harris claim. Harris said if Donald Trump were to be reelected, he will sign national abortion ban. They did give her a fact check false on that. He has said that. He's always been, pretty consistent with that through the campaign this time, that he agrees with abortion in terms of life of the mother, incest. So, Trump claim. Trump said they didn't fire anybody having to do with Afghanistan. Fact check. True, but needs context. The context is that it is true. They go on over a couple paragraphs to say, yeah, nobody was fired, nobody was held responsible for that. I guess that they said that since it was not preventable, is what they had concluded, that is the reason that it needs more context. I don't know. Trump, congressional Republicans, and several Gold Star families say that they believe these investigations have not gone far enough. So, whatever investigation said that it was not preventable, people on the other side are saying that they didn't do enough investigation. Trump claim Kamala Harris wants to ban fracking. Fact check needs context. So, again, she said that she's for fracking now. There's video of her just 3 years ago saying that she's pro fracking, that she would ban it outright. So, again, this is another one that's just, she says that she's not. Trump says he's not for Project 2025. Apparently, we need more context that says that he is for Project 2025 and that she is not for banning fracking. Trump claim. Trump said, I'd like to give you 10,000 National Guard soldiers. They rejected me. Nancy Pelosi rejected me. Fact check false. Again, we don't need to get into this. The January 6th thing has been discussed ad nauseum. You can watch more than a lifetime's worth of coverage on it. Nancy Pelosi's own daughter said that Nancy Pelosi had blamed herself for it. They gave it a fact check false. I don't know what more. There's nothing more to say about that. Harris claim, if elected, Trump would be immune from criminal prosecution. Partially true. Yeah, as commander-in-chief, he could pardon himself. There'd be certain things that would or would not be able to be prosecuted. Yeah. Trump said that he ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline and Biden put it back on day one. Fact check. Mostly false. And then you read it, and so that's the pipeline in Russia. It's true that in 2019, Trump announced sanctions that halted the pipeline's construction. Okay, so obviously when he said that he ended Nord Stream 2 pipeline, that was true. They gave him mostly false, so let's see. And then Biden put it back on day one. Biden later waived the sanctions against the pipeline's builder at the request of Germany. So I guess that the mostly false is maybe it wasn't on day one. Harris claim Trump's deal with the Taliban is to blame for the chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Fact check. Needs context. Let's go with a fact check false because he wasn't in office. You literally could have done and put in any restrictions on the Taliban that you wanted. You could have literally done anything that you wanted with regards to that withdrawal. You could have not done the withdrawal. You could have pushed it back a week. You could have pushed it back. You could have pushed it back a year, 2 years. You could have withdrawn yesterday if you wanted to. You were the one in charge. What are you talking about? Doesn't need context. That's 100% false. Trump claim. Harris and Walsh support abortion in the 7th month, the 8th month, the 9th month, and probably after birth. Fact check false. There's no state that allows the killing of a baby after birth. Infanticide is illegal in all 50 states. His false claim stems from refusal by many Democrats to support any legal restrictions on abortion. Okay, then tell me why there have been multiple babies in Tim Walz's state that were quote-unquote botched abortions that led to a live birth, and then the babies were allowed to pass. It is disgusting. It is absolutely unconscionable. The vast majority of Americans do not agree with late-term abortions. They just don't. But for some reason, when Trump asks Kamala Harris to answer that question, the media doesn't push her on it. I would have loved to have heard a little bit more from her on what her actual position is. At what point is it okay to deny an abortion based on the age of the baby? Let's see. Trump claim the Biden administration left $85 billion worth of brand new beautiful military equipment behind in Afghanistan that was seized by the Taliban. Fact check false, not because they left behind a ton of equipment, but because it didn't equal $83 billion. Significantly less according to their reports. But 78 aircraft, 9,500 air-to-ground munitions, 40,000 vehicles, 300,000 weapons, all night vision, surveillance, communications, and biometric equipment. So if that doesn't equal 83 billion, I'm sorry, but they gave it a fact check false. The reality is just because the number was not quite that much, his point still stands. Harris claim. Harris said of the Central Park Five, Trump took out a full-page ad calling for their execution. True. Trump went back and spoke specifically to that fact, said that, yes, he had done that. So Harris claimed Trump exchanged love letters with Kim Jong-un. Fact check, they gave it a false, which, yeah, again, it's based on the fact that she called him love letters. He said, thanks for coming, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay, apparently that's a love letter to Harris. Harris claimed Biden-Harris made historic investments in clean energy, needs context. Yeah, they invested a bunch in clean energy. Trump claimed Trump suggested he probably took a bullet to the head because of Harris. Fact check false. And then they go on to say that the FBI doesn't know why. So I don't know how you give that a fact check false when obviously there was some motivation there. I don't know. Still under investigation. The fact that we don't know what happened and why it happened and what's going on, there's been absolutely zero released about it, and it's been memory hold. That's absolutely a joke and disgusting. But again, this is ABC News, so what do you expect? Trump said Ashley Babbitt was shot out by an out-of-control police officer. They should have never, ever shot her. It's a disgrace. Misleading. Again, I'm not getting into January 6th. Don't care. Harris's claim. Harris said, as of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century. Fact check false. There's 2,500 troops in Iraq, 900 in Syria. They've recently come under attack. Like, that was just outright false. Trump claimed Trump said Iran was broke under Donald Trump. Now Iran has $300 billion because they took off all the sanctions that I had. Mostly false, needs context, and their mostly false was that they think that the estimate of how much money they have gotten is too high. Harris claim the former president said climate change is a hoax. Fact check. True. Okay, yeah, he said it. I don't think that he denied that he said it. So, Trump claims Europe giving billions less to Ukraine than the U.S. Fact check. False. And then they just dispute once again about the numbers of how much the U.S. and the UN is actually, or countries in Europe are actually donating to the Ukraine war. So there you have it. It just sickens me. I don't really have much more to say about it than that. They are blatantly and outright lying on behalf of Kamala Harris in order to sway voters. And they didn't even address or fact check the things that Kamala Harris lied about that have been proven time and again. The really fine people on both sides comment and just went down the list one by one of things that are patently false about Donald Trump, and not one second did the moderators come in and fact check her. It was wrong. If they are going to fact check, I do not care if you want to vote for Donald Trump. I do not care if you want to vote for Kamala Harris. All I care about is a fair election, everybody getting a fair shake, everybody being able to say, look, they had a debate, the best ideas won, and now I know exactly who I'm going to vote for based on what's important to me. But when moderators come in and tip the scale in favor of one candidate or the other, it just makes me ill. If there ends up being another debate and that happens again, or if the tables were turned and Donald Trump got assistance from the moderators, I will be doing the exact same thing. Anyway, hopefully you got something out of this, and I will see you again shortly. It's Ben Franklin with Rejoin or Die.